Lakers vs. Suns 1. Structure was W. ILDDC 23, 2025 NBA Highlights. What's up, basketball fans, and welcome back to the channel. If you thought the first quarter of last night's Lakers vs. Suns game was going to be just another December matchup, you were completely wrong, because the opening 12 minutes at the Footprint Center in Phoenix delivered some absolutely wild basketball action that had fans on both sides jumping out of their seats. The energy was electric, the plays were spectacular, and before we even hit the second quarter, we already knew we were watching something special unfold on that hardwood floor in Arizona. Now let me set the scene for you, because this game had all the drama built in from the very start. The Lakers rolled into Phoenix without their five-time All-Star Luka Doncic, who was sitting out with a lower leg contusion, which immediately changed the dynamics of how Los Angeles was going to have to approach this game. But here's the thing that made it even more interesting. The Lakers got Austin Reaves back after he missed the previous 3 games with his own calf strain. So there was this whole narrative about whether Reaves could step up and help fill that massive void left by Doncic's absence. The Suns, on the other hand, came into this matchup with confidence, because they had already beaten the Lakers once this season and nearly got them in their last meeting just over a week ago. So there was definitely some competitive fire burning on both sides before the ball even went up for the opening tip. When that first quarter started, you could immediately feel the intensity from both teams. The Lakers knew they needed to come out strong to prove they could compete without one of their star players, and the Suns were determined to protect their home court and make a statement in front of their fans. LeBron James, at 40 years old and still playing like he's in his prime, took charge early for the Lakers. The King was attacking the basket with authority, hitting those smooth mid-range jumpers that he's perfected over his legendary career, and getting his teammates involved with his incredible court vision. You could see LeBron was locked in from the moment he stepped on that floor, knowing his team needed him to carry a heavier load without Doncic available. Austin Reaves came off the bench, and you could tell he was excited to be back on the court after missing those 3 games. His energy was contagious, and he was making an immediate impact, finding his rhythm with some clever drives to the basket and showing off that basketball IQ that's made him such a valuable piece for this Lakers squad. Reaves has this unique ability to read the defense and make the right play at the right time, whether that's pulling up for a jumper, finding an open teammate, or getting all the way to the rim. The chemistry between him and LeBron was flowing naturally, and it was clear that having Reaves back was giving the Lakers another offensive weapon they desperately needed. But here's where things got really interesting, because the Phoenix Suns were not about to let the Lakers control this game. Devin Booker was cooking from the very beginning, showing everyone why he's one of the most lethal scorers in the entire league. Booker was hitting these incredibly difficult shots that looked impossible, draining contested jumpers, pulling up from deep range, and using his signature footwork to create just enough space to get his shot off. When Devin Booker gets into that rhythm, there's almost nothing a defense can do to stop him, and we were seeing that on full display in this first quarter. His confidence was sky high, and every time he touched the ball, you felt like something special was about to happen. Then you had Dillon Brooks, who has been having an absolutely incredible season for the Suns, and was showing exactly why his scoring numbers are way up this year. Brooks was being aggressive from the opening minutes, attacking the basket with purpose, hitting those tough contested shots, and playing with the kind of intensity that sets the tone for his entire team. What's been so impressive about Brooks this season is how he's elevated his offensive game while still maintaining that defensive toughness that's always been his calling card. He was getting to his spots on the floor, making smart decisions with the basketball, and most importantly, he wasn't backing down from the challenge of facing a Lakers team that's one of the top squads in the Western Conference. The pace of this first quarter was absolutely breathtaking. Both teams were running up and down the court like they were in a track meet, with fast breaks happening on almost every possession. The Lakers would score, and immediately, the Suns were pushing the ball up the floor, looking for quick opportunities before the defense could get set. Then Phoenix would score, and here came LeBron, leading the charge the other way, either finishing himself or finding an open teammate for an easy bucket. This wasn't the kind of slow, methodical basketball you sometimes see in December when teams are grinding through the middle of the long NBA season. This was playoff-level intensity, with both teams flying around, competing on every single possession, and refusing to give an inch. The three-point shooting in this opening quarter was particularly impressive from both sides. The Suns were finding their shooters in rhythm, swinging the ball around the perimeter with crisp passes and creating those wide-open looks that good offensive teams generate. When you have players like Booker and Brooks hitting from deep range, it just opens up everything else in your offense, because the defense has to respect that outside shooting threat. The Lakers were answering right back with their own three-point makes, and you could feel this back-and-forth energy building with every made basket. Nobody was backing down, and neither team was going to let the other run away with any kind of momentum. What made this first quarter so special was the level of defensive effort we were seeing despite all the scoring. Yes, both teams were putting up points, but they were also really competing on the defensive end. You saw players diving for loose balls, contesting every shot, fighting through screens, and really grinding to get stops when they needed them. LeBron was using all his experience and basketball IQ to position himself perfectly on defense, anticipating passes and helping his teammates when they got beat off the dribble. The Suns were being physical and active, pressuring the ball and making the Lakers work for every single bucket they got. Mark Williams was making his presence felt in the paint for Phoenix, protecting the rim and grabbing rebounds to start fast breaks for his team. When you have a big man who can be a defensive anchor and also finish around the basket on the offensive end, it makes everything easier for your perimeter players. Williams was doing exactly that, altering shots at the rim, securing defensive boards, and then running the floor hard to be a threat in transition. His energy and effort were infectious, and you could see how much it meant to have that kind of presence in the middle of your defense. The coaching adjustments were happening on the fly, as both J.J. Redick for the Lakers and the Suns coaching staff were calling out plays, making substitutions, and trying to find the right combinations to give their team an edge. You could see the intensity on the sidelines matching what was happening on the court, with coaches gesturing wildly, players locked into the game plan, and everyone understanding that even though this was just the first quarter, it was setting the tone for how the rest of this game was going to play out. As we moved deeper into that opening period, the physicality started ramping up even more. Players were battling for position in the post, fighting through contact on drives to the basket, and really testing the referees to see what they were going to call. This is playoff-style basketball in December, and both teams were showing they had the toughness and mental strength to compete at that level. Every possession mattered, every defensive stop was crucial, and nobody was taking any plays off. The crowd at the Footprint Center was absolutely rocking throughout this entire first quarter. Phoenix fans are some of the most passionate in the NBA, and they were bringing that energy from the opening tip. Every time the Suns made a big play, the building would erupt with cheers that you could practically feel through your television screen. That home court advantage is real, especially when you're playing well and giving your fans something to cheer about, and the Suns were definitely feeding off that energy all quarter long. LeBron was showing flashes of that vintage King James play that's made him one of the greatest players in basketball history. He was controlling the tempo when the Lakers had the ball, making smart decisions about when to attack and when to facilitate for his teammates, and using his incredible basketball IQ to keep his team competitive despite being short-handed without Doncic. Watching LeBron operate at this stage of his career is truly special because he's not relying on pure athleticism anymore. He's using his experience, his knowledge of the game, and his understanding of how to pick apart defenses to still be incredibly effective. Colin Gillespie was providing valuable minutes for the Suns off the bench, bringing that energy and defensive pressure that can change the complexion of a game. Having role players who understand their assignments and execute them with intensity is so crucial in the modern NBA, and Gillespie was showing exactly why he's earned his spot in the rotation. He was pestering ball handlers, making smart cuts to the basket, and doing all the little things that don't always show up in the stat sheet, but make a huge difference in winning basketball games. The ball movement from both teams in this first quarter was absolutely beautiful to watch. Neither squad was settling for isolation plays or forcing bad shots. Instead, they were whipping the ball around the perimeter, making the extra pass to find the open man, and really playing team basketball at its finest. When you see that kind of unselfish play, it's a sign of teams that are well coached, that trust each other, and that understand the importance of moving the ball to create the best possible shot on every possession. Austin Reaves continued to prove why Lakers fans have fallen in love with his game. His confidence was evident in every move he made, whether he was pulling up for a mid-range jumper, attacking the basket with clever change of pace moves, or finding teammates with pinpoint passes. Reaves has that special quality where he never seems rattled or rushed. He just plays at his own pace and makes good decisions with the basketball. Having him back in the lineup was clearly making a difference for Los Angeles, giving them another playmaker who could handle the ball and take pressure off LeBron. As the first quarter wound down, both teams were still going at each other with the same intensity they started with. There was no letting up, no coasting through possessions, just high-level competitive basketball, with both squads determined to win this period and set themselves up for success over the remaining 3 quarters. The score reflected just how evenly matched these teams were, with neither side able to create any kind of separation, despite numerous runs and momentum swings throughout those opening 12 minutes. The transition defense from both teams was being tested constantly, with all the fast break opportunities that were happening. Players were sprinting back on defense, trying to match up with their assignments while running at full speed, and doing everything they could to prevent easy baskets in transition. This is one of the most challenging aspects of modern NBA basketball, being able to quickly shift from offense to defense and get back to stop those fast break points that can really deflate a team's momentum. This wasn't just another regular season December game. This was 2 Western Conference teams battling like they were playing in April or May instead of right before Christmas. What made this first quarter so special wasn't just the final score or even the individual performances, though those were certainly impressive. It was the way both teams competed, the energy they brought to every possession, and the level of basketball they played, despite it being the middle of a long and grueling NBA season. You could tell that both the Lakers and Suns understood the importance of this matchup, not just for standings purposes, but for the pride and competitive fire that comes with facing a division rival multiple times in a short span. The Lakers showed tremendous heart playing without Doncic and competing at such a high level on the road against a quality opponent. LeBron was magnificent as always. Reaves proved